Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I must confess at this juncture that the household names are Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni, and yes, I'll stop at that for the time being. Okay, there will be many more in the time to come. In the time to come for sure, who are going to become the icons in the field of sports. In particular, cricket. Of 1983, I was wondering what corridors are all about. Which corridor I should start off with. But basically, it is very, very important. I must tell you how I have come on to the stage today. And let me start off by respecting the parents. It's very, very important. As a kid, my father was very discouraging. He was only grilling into my head, study, study, and study. Get a degree, get a government job. Apparently, he was a government employee, a lower division stenographer. In the Mysore government, it was known as Mysore government then. Now it is Karnataka. Not realizing what talent I had into me, neither did I know. So, but I was on the slide taking part in the sports conducted by the school. So on that count, my first sport was athletics. I ran 100 meters, 200 meters, and relay for the school team state level. And I played all the house games, and I excelled in the group into hockey, football, and cricket, of course. Not realizing where I was heading, without any inhibitions, I was excelling. So I was noted by the PT master. And in the inter-school competition of athletics at the Kantireva Stadium in Bangalore, I ran relay for my school team. My father could not afford canvas shoes. And my other friends from the affluent family, they had spikes. And I ran without, barefooted I ran. So from there on was my beginning. My performance into athletics, hockey, football, and cricket came into limelight. And nobody, the PT master was just with his whistle in his mouth, this type exercise, that's all. No proper education on physical exercises, etc. and etc. That's the way we were brought up. And there were no much of facilities, amenities provided to us. And so on that count, I started coming into limelight, state school level. The media started publicizing my name. Obviously, it was all due to performance, and I didn't know where I was heading, honestly. There was no guide, there was no coach. And just that sheer extra rush of the sporting blood was flowing into me. Obviously, I had inherited from my father. I represented the state schools, Karnataka state. It was called Mysore State then. And then went on with the South Zone schools, and then eventually I was selected with the Indian schools team to play against the Australian schools for the first time. They were touring India in 1965-66. I was hitting the headlines in all the 3 test matches which we played against the Australian schools, and was eventually selected to the Indian schools to tour abroad in 1967 to England. And After coming back, I was inducted into the Ranji Trophy team, obviously with my consistency in performance. And so, debut into Ranji Trophy 1968, I was doing my 10th standard, and then State Bank of India offered me a job while I was still doing my 10th standard, not realizing. And my father was grilling, ke bhai, get a degree, get a government job, get a degree, government job. And I refused when the first attempt was made by the sports secretary of SBI. I said, no, I must get my degree and then I'll look for the job, not realizing that the job was coming to the doors. Right? So on those basis, second time he approached me and said, bhai, there are evening college facilities. You can do your graduation if you want to. So I came and told my father, State Bank is offering me a job. So I called him. Then my father was not believing, sir. Huh? Kya baat hai? Came and told my father, we are giving him a job, sir. SBI is recruiting sports persons, renowned sports persons who have got the talent to make it big, blah, 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 blah. Right. So on that count, father said, okay, since you are giving him a job, yeah, take it. And the same year, he was also retiring from his service. So after that, my father stopped telling me to study. And I did my evening college, 9:30 to 2:30 in the bank. My father had a cycle. His father might have given him Philips, old, made in England Philips. And when he retired from his service, the cycle was kept at home. There's only one pedal. When I got the job, he said, well, congratulations, you've got a government job. Take my cycle. Looked at the cycle, only one pedal there. And I took that cycle, believe me, my first day into the office, State Bank of India, with one pedal, I cycled and looked around on the footpath. Cycle repair वगैरह बैठते हैं ना पंचर कीचड़ डालने के लिए. So I stopped at that guy and I said, yaar, isko pedal hai to dalo yaar. He opened a junk-looking box, started searching for pedals. Found one pedal luckily, and it fitted into that bike. Wow, I was so happy. Nevertheless, from the bank until I retired, I was with State Bank of India, very loyal. I retired as AGM from State Bank of India. Until 93, we were only attending the bank, not working into the bank, attached to a particular department. And then whatever, if any individual wanted to learn or know about what banking is all about, would do it. Otherwise, that privilege was given to us. Where you can come into the bank whenever you're not touring or whenever you're not playing. So on that count, we were having those privileges and never were transferred from the bank. So that was my bank career from 1968 to, well, you got to excuse me, there are not many things stick into this slippery, shiny head, So it's about 7 years since I've retired, so you know my age now. 60 years is the retiring age, right? So I feel so young. I'm trying to see which are the corridors which I must be touching on, the 1983, the PowerPoints and the very important matches which got us into the finals, and then it was history altogether. Now, when we left the shores of India, we were the 4th weakest team in the competition, and along with us was Zimbabwe, Sri Lanka, and East Africa, I think. We were in the group of the world champions who ruled cricket for more than a decade, the West Indians, the legendary players. Wow. And the first match we played was of the tournament was against the world champions. And we beat them comprehensively on that very first encounter. The first victory of any tournament, of any match, and a first attempt when you are successful, that gives a boost into your system and a huge amount of push into your motivation and inspiration. We were very happily in the dressing room. Wow, we have beaten, each one of us talking to within ourselves and saying, hey, we have beaten the world champions, man, in our very first encounter. So one of the cricketers from the dressing room, from the washroom, hey, we have beaten the world champion, man, bolke pukara. So all of us woke up at that time and said, hey, we have beaten the world champions. All of us, a chorus. And from there we didn't look behind. And it was a huge compliment I would give Kapil Dev on this issue. Okay, we were 7 seniors to him in the team, and he was made the captain. And in our very first meeting before the World Cup could start, he said, gentlemen, man of few words and a man of action right throughout, Kapil Dev. He said, I don't have to tell you seniors anything. You are the ones to guide me with all your experiences. That's a big thing for a captain to say. I must reiterate at this moment that anybody on power, with due respects, of course, there are quite a few who don't show ego. E-G-O. Coming back to this is what Kapil Dev said, and we appreciated that. We appreciated that, and we knew our responsibilities. And after we won that first match, we all believed in our capabilities. We all believed in our strength. Hey, we have beaten the world champions. Now we cannot look back. So we bottlenecked the entire stronger opposition in their complacency. Complacency. Wow, we are the world champions. We are the best team in the world, man. I'm the fastest bowler in the world. I'll wreck the entire team out. I think that when it comes into you subconsciously, for some it comes consciously. For as a team, it is subconscious. And we bottlenecked them. By the time they could realize, we had tightened the snooze into all the oppositions. Right? Coming on to the Zimbabwe match. Okay? Now, we batted first. And normally, generally, I don't get my batting because they didn't ever consider me as an all-rounder until Dhoni proved. You see? They never considered a wicket-keeper as an all-rounder. Right? Though I was showing a little bit of consistency whenever, whatever it was. So on that count, I was relaxed. We were batting first. And I was in my towel preparing myself for a lovely shower and a good breakfast with a toast in my mouth, munching away. And from outside there was a call from one of my friends. Hey, Kiri, pada, bolke pukara. Normally guys keep pulling one another's leg. I said I ignored that. Second shout was a little serious. Hey, kya kar raha yaar? Padap kar yaar, बोल के पुकारा कोई बाहर. तो मैं वैसी विंडो में से ऐसा स्कोर बोर्ड देखा तो 17 for 5. 17 for 5. My towel dropped. Believe me, I ran into the shower, picking up the towel and the bread, the toast where it was, where it fell, I didn't know. And the next moment, I was walking inside. And I was walking inside. So on that count, I went up to Kapil and said, "Dekho, we are in a do or die situation, caps." So on that count, I played the first delivery I faced, went past my nose. The second delivery went this way. One concave, one convex ball was swinging like a boomerang. And the third one was a little short 4. This would have got Kapil Dev's mind working. Yaar, at this situation, and he has told me, hit every delivery. And he said he's going to give me 5 deliveries to play. And I did that. And from there on, it was history, ladies and gentlemen. It was history. We had a wonderful partnership. And there have been a lot of incidences, good incidences, very happy, very fantastic incidences, which we heard after 25 years from our own colleagues. And from there on, we didn't look back. And what an honor it was bringing the first ever World Cup to India. And that cannot be forgotten for sure. You know, this first World Cup victory. They say it is like the first love cannot be forgotten, right? You guys are in love, I'm sure. Everybody gets in love at some stage or the other. Let's accept certain facts. Isn't it? I'm a very practical kind of a guy, and I don't hesitate in expressing certain things a little to inspire you and motivate you also. So on those basis, this victory cannot be forgotten until life for sure. So on that count, that was the, these are the corridors, the 2 important corridors I had to take you all how we won the World Cup. It was very simple that we believed in our capabilities and we believed in our strength. And later on when we went into the introspective aspect of the entire World Cup, we realized that we were 7 all-rounders into the Indian team. No other team had. This one-day cricket is nothing but more the all-rounders, the better the team, the better chances of winning. So it's a group, it's a teamwork, which we all contributed, and that's how we won the World Cup. And it is the very important factor of life in general, which I am conveying in another PowerPoint. How to progress. How do you progress in your day-to-day life? Is ke bhai, when you go to bed, every night, talk to yourself, analyze yourself. Ke bhai, did I have a good day? Question yourselves. What did I do the whole day? Was it fruitful? Was it constructive? What did my teacher say? What did my professor say? Did I grasp that? Talk to yourself. And this is how you will progress. This is how you will improve upon yourselves on a day-to-day basis. This is the best way to progress. Introspect yourselves. So this is where, you improve upon. And be creative. You've got these crayons and everything, all these things, it is in front of you in a platter.